Welcome back. This is the Right Richard Reverend Rutherser on this fine Monday. Well, obviously the world didn't come to end, and surprisingly little doom came over the world this weekend. But I will tell you, while we were talking about asteroids last week, in the town of Freehold, New Jersey, a couple saw a meteorite about the size of your fist crash through their bathroom. That's right, their roof hit the bathroom and destroyed it. That's right, just over the weekend. They're showing pictures of it. It's about the size of a fist, made of iron. And you remember we were talking about Denver? Well, Darren Johnson of the Oakwood Road Church of Ames, Iowa got a very special close encounter with the unexpected. An avalanche fell down and buried 8 cars with people inside. Now, they were all able to get out, and particularly Mr. Darren Johnson was the only one who suffered any real damage with a broken rib. But he came into knowing the exquisite pleasure of having come close to a personal doomsday event. And not only that, this has prompted them to take the war on nature in Denver to a higher level by dropping artillery shells to see if they can get the avalanches to happen a little quicker. Love tampering with Mother Nature. And talking about tampering with Mother Nature, remember, I was just talking about global warming last week. Well, British meteorologists, including David Palmer most particularly, said next year, because of an El Nino event combined with those CO2 gases, remember what I said, how we get those? There's going to be a 60% chance that we're going to see the hottest summer in the Northern Hemisphere, at least, of 2007. Possibly could even make it worse in places like Australia and parts of Africa. But for the Northeast United States, it's great. It's going to make it for much balmy weather. In Atlantic, fewer hurricanes. Well, we couldn't have had fewer hurricanes in 2006, which we had none hit the American landscape. So just to show you that I'm not just talking out my butthole like everybody keeps saying. Sorry, ladies, I know that was offensive, but people keep saying that. But over the weekend at the church, we were talking about stuff, and one of the things is that they asked me about this movie called Children of Men. Now, between courses and everything, this movie called Children of Men that's in the theaters. It's got Clive Owen, which is kind of a new actor for us, Julianne Moore. Beautiful, her hair's so great. And Mr. Kane himself. And of course he plays this reputable pothead. But I don't want to get too much into the movies. But what they asked me about, because the movie based on the idea that all of a sudden women can't have babies. And they asked me, is that possible? And I go, absolutely that's possible. It could happen by a governmental release of virals. It could happen through some change in the water. It could be a genetic attack. We don't know all the different ways. Or simply God says no more babies. We've run out of souls. Any one of those things could happen. Unexpected things do happen. Is it likely? I don't know, because we don't, of course, predict God. That's why I like what David Palmer had said. He just made a projection of 60% likely, and we hope he's right. Man, I can imagine what a hot summer is going to be like. I was in Chicago where hundreds have died. It was terrible. Truly terrible. But in this movie, they stopped fertility. And all of a sudden, the youngest man in the world was killed. And in there was despair. So did men rally together and try to save each other's lives? No! Of course not. We watched the biggest war we've ever seen. They continue to kill themselves, even though there aren't more men. There aren't more women. They treat each other brutally in this movie. It is a perfect example of doomsday. How doomsday can come very slowly, and it is miserable, and the suffering can take a long time. If you really want to get a good thing on doomsday, that's a really good movie. It should be nominated for Oscars. Absolutely. You should see Children of Men and understand the exquisite pain that doomsday can come from in all different ways. Tomorrow. Well, that's if we make it tomorrow, because there's things brewing on the horizon, which might make it really seriously possible that there might not be a tomorrow. That's right, World War III is getting ready, and it's picked up a new battlefield in the last 2 weeks. And tomorrow I'll talk to you about the new battlefield in World War III, unless, of course, we're not here. Go out, see children and men. Check out the news. This is the Right Richard Reverizer signing off. And if I don't see you tomorrow, the world's come to an end.